Good morning, calling with JDK. We're warming up and we're going to look at a certain drill that we use in our practice to warm up. We set it up by using the opponent to just throw some tight punches at your face, and we're going to deflect it. The premise is that the ball and socket joint makes the stability of the hand not so great right at the end, at the impact zone. The forward and backward is strong, but the left-right is not strong. So if you actually have this opponent over here, you're punching, this impact allows the support from the skeleton to go outwards, but left and right really is not really all that secure. So I'm just tapping it from the outside to actually block and deflect the oncoming punches. Similar here, it's not a left-right wave from me. It is a oblique cutting across the body. So as a result, right at the end, I'm applying force onto my opponent's structure. To switch this up, Josh is going to continue doing the punch. I'm going to switch. So from deflecting from the outside here, I'm going to then pat the hands so that I'm deflecting from the inside. The study of this is to look at the angles that are coming at from the cross point of view. So if I have this, I can continue using that motion. However, this only succeeds because for this particular drill, because he's coming at me really tight. Once that hook comes in a little wide, that's going to slip right at me, and if I'm standing still in the way, that will never be stopped. So for our study, as I block this, if I cross, in reality, what I've got to do is I've got to work towards the outside of this body and ride that curve in order to basically block this hand, either from the inside or from the outside. So if I get a nice, big, large hook, I've got to work towards the outside, then cut, or I've got to brush it from the outside. So I've got to tilt my body into the curve and then cut from the outside, and that's the angle. So this, stand straight and go. So this works only because my partner has willed it to work. That if he curves it in too much, go ahead and make a nice curve. The distance is too great for me to then effectively block it. So I need to then work towards the outside, reduce the distance between myself and the tool, and then basically stop it. Or I work to the outside and I sweep it from this motion, not a downward motion. This particular drill, the assumption is that if I'm standing in the way, and if I really got across, and if I can't make it, then what I do is I'm actually attacking the oncoming tool directly head on. So for instance, if I miss from the inside, or I think that I'm not going to stop it, that is basically how I'm going to stop the tool. It's really to re-attack that punching hand, that uncovered punching hand, with a much larger, more stable part of your body to destroy that tool of his. So the option is I cross, I cut on the tool, or I cut outside the tool. Those are the various choices you've got to make whilst assessing where the angle is and where your body is facing. If you can't close that gap and work towards the outside of the trajectory, then you've got to then change the method of what you're using your cross hand for, and either attack it straight on or then move out and then basically swing on from the outside. When I say look at it from the trajectory, that trajectory basically is guiding you to ride that curve or the wave. So I don't want to get blasted by the wave. I'm going to skim the outside curve, and then that tells me how to position myself in direction to the oncoming attack. I'm going to punch you. And breathe out. And then apply more force onto my body. Yeah. If it's done successfully, the drill stops. I can't pull the hand back. If it's done unsuccessfully, watch this. I get to pull my hand back and I get to fire. So go ahead and shut me down. This cutting across is very, very important to how this thing really stops. Yeah, there you go. This tool is actually pinned to my body and I can't pull it out and then fire it. If Josh cuts it across, as in laterally, then there's no more pressure. The arm gets to be pulled away and then refired. I am not an opponent that's going to leave my hand out to actually get patted up and punched. Yeah, exactly. So this trap down needs to pin that arm onto my body. This oblique cutting is part of that movement. So the cutting, as we actually continue the drill, just continue the drill, but do it, yeah. That is part of it. The second is zooming with your feet. So part of it is cutting obliquely, part of it is actually cutting the distance or gap closing, and then this hand, look where I'm pointing directly at the nose, and then as it's cut, it's deflected off, and then I've got this pressure on top of my body. And that's part of that drill. The drill is not really to wave like a windshield wiper, and we usually talk about that analogy. It's not the windshield wiper, it's not this hand-only movement. When you see Josh coming in, look at that. He's bypassing that hand completely because it's much easier to block with a much larger part of your body and then apply the structure back onto the opponent. Do you have anything to add? Have I missed anything? No? Great. Thank you. Please enjoy. Keep playing.